Hey guys, welcome to the Dark Future. Today, I want to talk to you guys about Biotechnica, an Italian company based out of Rome, but they have a couple different offices around the world, including Night City, Paris, and London. They rose to prominence when the fuel crisis affected the industrial community in the late 1990s. So they developed a new formula called Chew2. It was a complex grain alcohol produced by genetically engineered yeast and wheat strains. The potential of this was realized immediately, and all companies, vehicles, power plants converted to the new fuel. Even though Biotechnica created this new formula, they didn't have the production facilities to create it, so they had to create worldwide patents and license it out to several agribusinesses and petrocorporations. You may think that was a bad deal for them, but these deals made that company extremely wealthy. They weren't large, but they had a lot of money. And that was where Biotechnica was in Cyberpunk 2020. Since then, they were one of the companies that survived the bomb that went off in Night City. Because they survived that, they were able to get their own district manager on the council at Night City. In this time of the Red, Biotechnica is considered not to be a necessarily evil corporation. Of course, this is the dystopian future, so no corporation is truly not evil. The really interesting thing, and the thing that spawned this idea for me to make a video about it, is a paragraph in the rulebook in the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. In this paragraph, they talk about how the bomb going off destroyed the ecology. During the rebuilding, because of the bomb going off, this enabled Biotechnica to genetically modify and create different kinds of plants and animals, all kind of crazy experiments. Because in this time, many of the animals died off, so it is very rare to see a non-cloned, non-genetically modified animal. And so Biotechnica will go to certain lengths to acquire these types of animals. So that is where Biotechnica is in the time of Red. They're pretty much the same as they were in 2020, only I would say they're much more important in the time of the Red because of their experiments that they're doing in creating the animals and the different ecology and improving the ecology with plants. So what can you use this for your games in Cyberpunk Red? And this is my favorite part because in that paragraph that I spoke about earlier, the name of that little section was Sasquatch is Watching. And some of what Biotechnica does is they will produce, in theory, animals like Sasquatch. So that creates a lot of opportunity to include those types of things in your game. Because as soon as I read that paragraph, immediately I screenshotted that and shared it with everybody that I could because I thought this is fantastic paragraph for inspiration for GMs in Cyberpunk. Now, the ways that you can introduce this in your game, because Biotechnica has everything to do with animals, they're almost everywhere. There's actually an adventure in the back of the book for Biotechnica with a screen sheet. Besides the adventure in the back of the book, there are a couple cool ideas that I came up with. One of which is having kind of like an intrusion heist mission, which they kind of talk about in the book as well. And another company or a gang, maybe a private citizen, can hire your players to break into the maybe a smaller Biotechnica office to retrieve the real animals or to get some kind of research, because besides doing these genetically modified experiments, they also produce medications, things of that nature. So maybe they have some kind of cure for a disease, but they don't want to release it because they would rather treat the side effects rather than cure the disease. So maybe a private citizen, maybe somebody hires your players to go in and retrieve that research. The other type of team that you can have your players in is a media team. Have a bunch of medias. Not necessarily medias, but you can have like rocker boys. In the book, they go into detail about what types of classes will fit what type of roles in these different teams. So I highly suggest you look that up. But the media team is interesting because Biotechnica does have rogue agents within them, and you see that in the adventure that's provided in the back of the Red Jumpstart Kit. So you can have somebody in Biotechnica doing some unsavory things by performing these tests on gangers or people that are, less wanted, people that won't go missing. And so you can have your team hear about that through the grapevine, and so they want to break in and break the story about what's going on inside the Biotechnica offices. And kind of the last idea that I really had in terms of what teams you can use is also something that's addressed in the Jumpstart Kit called a neo-corporate team. And so you can have your players working for Biotechnica. And sometimes, like I said earlier, Biotechnica needs certain animals so that they can clone them. So, say Biotechnica finds somebody who has a pet cat or a pet parakeet, something like that, who somehow survived the disaster. You can have your players go out and try and capture this animal. Of course, whoever has this pet isn't necessarily going to give them up so easily. And the other really cool idea that instantly popped into my mind when I read that initial paragraph was to have that neo-corporate team hunt down an abomination. And this is where my mind went crazy. Biotechnica, say they create some kind of Sasquatch like that's in the book, and they think that, let's put some kind of tracker and maybe some kind of cyberware into him. He escapes into the Washington, Oregon area where this is all going on. And so they have their team, hey, we have this tracker on him. We need you to go hunt this guy down. I love that idea. I'm probably going to use it in one of my own games. But the abomination doesn't have to be Bigfoot. I was thinking, the sky's the limit. You could use dinosaurs if you wanted to. Woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, whatever floats your boat. Like I said, the sky's the limit. Velociraptors. I mean, there are so many possibilities with just this one paragraph that's in the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. I love it. So there are countless ways that you can incorporate Biotechnica into your games. And I think this will also inform a lot of people about what's going to happen in Cyberpunk 2077. Will we see a Sasquatch in Cyberpunk 2077? Who knows? I hope so. That'd be a fun mission, kind of like in GTA 5 when there was the Bigfoot mission. I mean, there are a lot of areas. Apparently, there's going to be kind of an outside of Night City area, so who knows? I'm sure that Biotechnica will have some impact on the game, hopefully at some point. So that'll do it for this episode. I'm thinking about doing this with a couple of the other corporations that are included in the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. Arasaka seems like an easy one to do, but maybe Militech, Petrochem, some of the smaller corporations could probably use a little bit of love. I'll see how this does, and possibly that'll be my new series. I don't have anything planned right now other than those in the works. I've been doing a podcast with John the Wise called the Podcast of the Dark Future, and we haven't decided on a set date of how often those are going to go, but I'll definitely let you guys know when it happens. So, follow me on Twitter, TheDarkFuture2. Check out my website, thedarkfuture.com, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.